Welcome back, guys. Here with you on Birds 365. Once again, we take you into the mobile car of Bob Grotz. Always
the mobile office, Bob. What do we got to drink, Bob? I see you opening something. Just water. You got to stay hydrated. Yeah.
Yeah. Deer Park.
Hot one. It's a hot one today.
Not my favorite. My favorite is you know what it is, right?
Voss water. I'm going Voss for you. I'm going.
No, I'm a Perrier.
Level.
I'm a Perrier.
I should have known that. Yes, Perrier. I should have known that. I told you it was classy, though. I told you it was classy.
Yeah.
Last time you're on, you had like $80 deodorant. We looked it up on.
Online. You know what? I don't recommend that. I went through that fast.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
But you probably got some good response and reaction from that. But
I'm not so sure about that. How are you guys doing?
Do we really want to go there? And oh, by the way, when I buy water, whichever one is $3 for 32 of them, the cheapest one possible. Water's freaking water.
You gotta get
water is water. They suck you guys in and make you pay extra for a label.
I'm a big
respectfully disagree.
Water guy. Yeah. I'm a big Brita filter guy. You know what I like to do, Bob? I like to turn on the faucet full bore, go out, go to Eagles practice, and by the time I get home, I got a nice glass of filtered water. That's how long it takes to get through that damn Brita filter.
Hey, Jody, I'd rather drink out of the hose than drink that $3 water.
Oh,
you don't know where you don't know where that came from. It had to be, I'll just drink right out of the hose.
SUCKER. You are a sucker.
Yeah, I'm a sucker too. If I'm drinking bottled water, I'm going Fiji water. If they want to advertise on the show,
do you really think they brought it in from Fiji? Are you buying that crap?
I'm a big Jimmy.
Believe that.
I was a big Jimmy Snuka fan, so I like Fiji water.
Water is water.
If you believe Gilligan's Island is based on a true story, you'll love Fiji water.
There you go. Exactly right. And or whatever Bob Grotz is. And I got no problem with the water you drink.
Gilligan's Island wasn't it true? I thought that was a documentary. Gilligan's Island.
No such luck. Speaking of documentaries, will you be in front of your computer tonight watching Netflix for the download of the quarterback documentary, which includes the Eagles' Marcus Mariota and his up and down turbulent year last year with the Falcons? Will you be streaming in tonight, Mr. Grotz?
No, I'll be watching that Will Chamberlain. Will Chamberlain, the documentary's coming out. No, it's too early for that. And
wait, time out. Too early. There's no NBA season. You're going back 50 some odd years to watch Wilt. That's not too early. Marcus Mariota 2 weeks before camp is too early.
Oh, I'd rather watch him than quarterbacks at this point any day of the week, really. That could be interesting, the quarterback thing, but Wilt was transcendent. And I don't know if you ever got to meet him.
I didn't know a Wilt document. I'm interested in that. Where is that going to be on, Bob?
I think that's on Netflix too.
Netflix?
I'm curious to see how it comes out because some of the younger people made it, and their memory goes back to LeBron James, as the all-time great, and that's about it. So this should be interesting. But Wilt, haven't had a chance to meet Wilt when the Sixers retired his number. He was the coolest guy. He was a man of the people, as good as he was. That just a class guy.
By the way, the coolest thing I ever got, the coolest piece of memorabilia I ever got, attending a game when the Sixers, when Josh Harris first bought the Sixers. You remember Adam? I believe Adam Aaron was the president. He's running like AMC theaters now. He was a big marketing guy. One of his first giveaways was they got the court from his 100-point game in Hershey and chopped it up and gave a piece of the court to everybody who came in. Now I don't know if it's real. It might be Fiji water. They might have took a piece of wood out back.
Yeah,
but I'd like to believe it's real. I still have it. I don't usually keep my stuff. I kept that thing. I usually give away our Eagles gifts, a stocking stuffers. That one I'm not giving away, Bob. You think it's real or not?
I don't know, but I've always wondered this about the 100-point game too, because they
You
took
were there.
Well, you're not going down the road of it
No,
didn't
no,
really
no.
happen.
I gotta
Don't do
say
that
this.
to me, Grotz.
I gotta get this off my chest.
Harvey
But when they kept stats in those days, they didn't do a lot of corrections. What if we only had 98 points?
Come on. I could buy
What
with
if they added them
assists.
up the next day? Then they would have put him out there. He would have got 100. But
It was an NBA game, not a high school game.
Yeah.
Come on.
And it was Harvey Pollack. Come on.
That was a long time ago.
If it were assists or rebounds, I might buy it. They might pad those stats a little bit, but not points.
Yeah,
points
you can't make a point
Too
in an
easy
NBA
to
game.
check.
I
There
know
were
it was
a
up
lot
in Hershey,
No,
and it was not a mega metropolis like Philadelphia. It was the NBA. Come on, they can't get away with that. All right, we're not going to let you get away with.
I feel better.
I call you the Prince of Darkness because you and I disagreed about how good James Bradberry was last year. And you certainly raised your opinion over time.
No. I watched the Super Bowl again. He had a terrible game. Oh my God.
Oh, he's back on the hate band.
Oh man.
Yeah. Oh, it was bad. And by the way, Dallas Goedert, when I watched that Super Bowl again, Jody, and hey, he was tremendous. He looked like the best tight end ever in that game. He made catches that were unbelievable. He made catches that would have made Kelsey look mortal, so I was impressed.
Speaking of, all right,
you were talking about Bradberry
and the fact that he resigned here and coming back here again. Are you predicting like the biggest fall off on the face of the earth because he got called for a questionable, not saying incorrect, I'm just saying questionable holding penalty that will be forever remembered in his town? Are you expecting that will be a contract we're considering a major faux pas for Howie Roseman for extending him?
No, it's hard to get the cornerbacks that can play every week, and he can do that. And he made some plays too early in the year. I think he's a good player. I don't think he's great though. I mean, people were anointing him for sainthood, after a couple games and a few interceptions.
Second team All Pro.
Yeah, right. I don't know what those guys were thinking. I really don't, because I saw the Detroit game from the very beginning. I was like, and I sent John the video, right, John? It was like, if Jared Goff had if he had been accurate like on 10% of those throws, they would have won the game. The Lions would have, but he's a good player. Is he a great player? I'm not. You know how I feel. I'm not gonna like knock him for the skills that he has, but he has a skill set, and he showed up every week. I mean, what cornerbacks do that now? That's very difficult, and that's a huge deal too.
Speaking of list, Jeremy Fowler of ESPN is currently doing his top 10 list where he talks to, GMs, executives, and scouts, kind of rates people that way. He just did cornerbacks. Number one, Patrick Surtain, who the Eagles were very interested in that year. Very good player. Number two, Jody's Sauce Gardner. Number 5, Darius Slay. James Bradberry, not in the top 10.
And he had a better season than Slay, if you ask me.
Well, he was the All-Pro. Slay was just made the Pro Bowl. They were both pretty good. But where are you on Darius Slay? Because there's a lot of people. He had a great first half, had a kind of faltered in the second half. He's 32. Sometimes that's a signal. NFL people still love him. Where are you with Darius Slay?
I'm surprised he's still with the Eagles. And he almost left.
Yeah, he did.
He was the one who said he almost wound up in Baltimore.
Baltimore, yeah.
So, yeah, I'm kind of surprised that he stuck around. And because, I think he's, flatly, I think he's a little bit in decline right now. So, but, they have a chemistry in that locker room, the veterans and stuff. That's a young secondary. There are no safeties really right now. I mean, a lot of youth at safety. So they're going to need every little bit of leadership they have. But I would have gone in another direction. exactly who I would have taken. I don't know. Maybe that would have had to have been addressed in the draft, but the Eagles, they always have been pass rush first. And they did shell out some money for Slay, but all that money they put out for Slay, has that been worth it? I mean, ask yourself. I'm not so sure. They put out a ton of money back in the day for Asante Samuel. Was that worth it? I'm not so sure about
Asante would tell you it is.
Can I ask a question of two Eagle beat reporters? Did I miss you guys reporting on the Eagles giving Darius Slay permission to talk to whatever team he wanted to while he was under contract after last season? Did I miss that? Did you guys have that as major reporting, that he had the ability to talk to any team? That Howie Roseman had granted permission to his agent to talk to other teams? Did I miss that?
No, we didn't. He was under contract with the Eagles. So the whole thought process was, Slay will be back, and then you have to decide between CJ and Bradberry. They wanted to get 2 of the 3 back. And people assumed because Darius was the one under contract, but they were always going to have to redo his contract for 2 reasons. One, it was the last year. It was too high from a cap perspective from the Eagles, and Slay, all the guaranteed money was off. So he wanted a new deal as well. So it was always going to have to be worked out. If you remember, Jody, he said goodbye. The Eagles shipped it at the very end. He and his wife, both of them, said goodbye to Philadelphia. The Eagles were going to sign CJ Gardner-Johnson, and CJ just lost his mind. And once they said, you know what, we're done with CJ, let's go back to Slay. They worked something out.
We all remember the story, but here's my question for both you guys, neither of which ever reported that he had permission to go talk to another team. How is he almost in Baltimore? If the Eagles hadn't granted permission for his agent to talk to another team, he was under contract to the Philadelphia Eagles. And the only way his agent should be talking to the Ravens is if he has permission as he's still under contract. But Darius Slay came out and said, I was almost in Baltimore. Well, how the hell do you know that? Your agent wasn't allowed to be talking to the Ravens
because
at that time.
He was informed he was going to be released. He didn't say goodbye because of
did that include the Eagles giving him permission to talk to other teams?
They were talking to other teams. They had a deal worked out with Baltimore. The Eagles were moving on, and then they shifted gears, and really it had more to do with CJ Gardner-Johnson being a pain in the
I would have signed Gardner-Johnson for sure, but he did say goodbye, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he said he went on, and so did Jennifer
on
Jennifer
social
Slay.
media.
Yeah, they both said goodbye, and they were both broken up about it. And didn't want to leave.
And the one thing he should have gotten in that new deal too was that a clause that said that the Eagles, under no circumstances, can hire Matt Patricia as a defensive.
Didn't think to get that clause put in there, huh, Bob?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, shame on
Darius Slay. Jalen Hurts was smart. He got the no trade clause.
There are very few no trade clauses.
Jody, that has been very underplayed. I asked Howie Roseman about that right at the press conference when he was talking about it. We got outside the door, and I said, he goes, Bob, you have any questions? You didn't have any questions. And I go, yeah, Howie. I said, if you guys wanted Jalen Hurts to be your centerpiece, your franchise guy, and he wanted to be here so bad, why do you need a no trade clause?
And
I better do this interview with.
That's a status symbol. They're not. They can't trade him, but they wanted to trade him.
Hey, did Jalen Hurts start cracking up when you better ask my agent? That was great. I mean, I give him. That has been very underplayed. That no trade clause. I mean, hey, if we love each other so much, I mean. Can you imagine getting that put in a marriage license or something?
Now, just let me double check. throughout the entire contract? Is it invoked, or is it just the first?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's got a
As long
no
as he's
trade
under
clause. Full
contract,
no
it'd be-
trade clause.
Full no trade for the
Yeah.
entire deal?
Yeah.
Because the first couple of years, the Eagles couldn't trade him if they wanted to.
Yeah.
right,
$110 million dead cap hit. The way they structured the contract, they can't even think about trading him.
You know what
But
that's
the
like,
last couple
Bob?
years
You
could
know what
Does
that
Mahomes have a no trade clause?
Probably, but I'd have to look. Probably. They're all going for that. It's a stat. You know what I compare that to, Bob? In the CBA, you know, when the owners give the players more time off in the off season for more money and more games. And the Eagles are like, all right, you give us a break here. Yeah, no trade. We're not going to trade you anyway. What do we care? And if it does go to shit,
Yeah, but they never did that with Carson Wentz, did they?
No, they didn't. It's the first no trade clause in Eagles history. But the bigger thing is Deshaun Watson. The reason Deshaun Watson wasn't here, well, ultimately, I don't think the Eagles would have paid that contract, but he had a full no trade. So it became a thing in the quarterback world. So it's a status symbol now. Everybody's getting the no trade. It is.
He didn't have to ask for that.
And by the way, all that it allows you to do, if the wheels come off, it allows you to pick your next destination, basically.
Which is a big deal. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you're probably going to be picking it anyway, but this gives you absolute authority or absolute.
And
ability.
if you don't want to go to Green Bay or Minnesota because of the shitty weather, yeah, you don't have to go.
Yeah, but they play indoors. Speaking of Minnesota, did you see where Justin Jefferson ran down his top 5 quarterbacks in the National Football League?
Disrespect.
One of which was Jalen Hurts, one of the top 5, one of which was not Kirk Cousins. How do you go back into the locker room and say, you're the guy who made me the #1 wide receiver in the National Football League, but I'm not putting you in the top. I'm raising you up, brother. You ain't raising me up. How's that going to play this year in Minnesota with Justin Jefferson showing a little disrespect to Kirk Cousins?
And they still can't stop anybody. That defense is as bad as ever. So that should be fun to watch. But can you imagine Justin Jefferson with Jalen Hurts? Jalen Hurts just opens up the field with that running ability, and you know he's going to get the first down on 4th and short. Imagine. I mean, A.J. Brown was a perfect example. That Super Bowl.
The Eagles have look. I love Jefferson. I think Jefferson's the best receiver in football. But the Eagles have A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. They don't need a freaking receiver. They're fine at receiver.
I'm just envisioning Justin Jefferson in the Eagles offense and the space that he would have and his ability to get open and get deep and catch the ball.
Eagles fans are never happy.
Have an unbelievable year. Yeah.
I mean, you can't have the best player at every position. If you have a top 5 guy.
Johnny was sitting there. You can't blame Eagle fans for that. They took Jalen Reagor and Justin Jefferson was available. I'm sorry. You got to eat that.
It's a bad pick.
Until Justin Jefferson retires, you got to eat that. If you're Howard Roseman, sorry, you got to eat that.
Jalen Reagor is, it's a bad pick. Yeah, that's like saying, but there's certain guys. I went through it with Randy Moss. I covered Randy Moss. Randy Moss was the 21st pick in the draft, I believe. 21st. Because he had some off the field issues in college, went to Notre Dame, was going to go to Notre Dame, was going to go to Florida State, got into some trouble, had to go to Marshall. 20 teams had a chance at him. They could all say, oh, we could have had Randy Moss. All right, everybody makes mistakes. They made a mistake on Jalen Reagor. They fixed it. Right now, you have A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. It took them a while, but they fixed it. They don't need DeAndre Hopkins. They sure as hell don't need Justin Jefferson, who would turn A.J. Brown into a 2, and then Devontae Smith is a 3.
Well, there's no room. I don't know what the argument is. There's not enough balls to go around.
Yeah, exactly.
The guy who should be getting the ball more is Goddard. Oh my Lord.
Yeah, Goddard's a great player. Great player.
All right, let me tick both of you guys off again. What about Howie Roseman? Because one of the things I noted at the top of the show is the Eagles are actually in good cap shape going into this season because of the way they structured their contract. They're going to have issues down the road. But right now, right here, snapshot at this time, July 12th, they're in good cap shape. They could sign DeAndre Hopkins if they wanted to. Now, I know there are only so many balls to go around. Here's the reason why. Because I'm telling you right now, mark this one, Xander, Jody Mack is predicting DeAndre Hopkins signs with the Kansas City Chiefs. And come the Super Bowl in January, when it's a rematch between the Eagles and the Kansas City Chiefs, the Eagles will not be happy that DeAndre Hopkins is on the other side of the field. Yeah. And you might be able to get him right here, right now. The Chiefs don't have a lot of cap room. If they get him, it'll solely be because they're a Super Bowl contender. Well, so are the Eagles.
So you sign him to play defense. Is that what you're saying?
City offering. They
you
could get him.
The guy with the best hands in the league to play, and you're playing defense. Is that no? That doesn't work.
Just keep him off Kansas City. Just remember this when we're doing the show in February, Johnny Mack, and we're looking at the rematch in the Super Bowl, and we're going, yeah, can they really stop DeAndre Hopkins in the slot? Avonte Maddox, not Josiah Scott filling in for Avonte Maddox against DeAndre Hopkins. Yeah, that's a major plus for the Chiefs. Just remember, I brought it up in July. That's all I'm saying.
You get after the quarterback. You just get after the quarterback. Yeah.
You think the field is going to be better this year? The Eagle guys are actually going to be able to get sacks in the Super Bowl.
It depends what the halftime show is, I guess, and how much they have to focus on that.
And oh, by the way, at some point you got to stop the run. I mean, the Chiefs. There's another thing from watching that Super Bowl. They just ran the ball down their throats in the second half.
Did.
And they controlled the clock. I mean, that's
a bigger issue.
Even more of a knock on that guy. What was his name? The defensive coordinator,
that's Johnny Budd, Coach Gannon.
Was found guilty of tampering. I forgot what was his name. Oh man, that guy.
Steve Spagnuolo. No, that was the other defensive coordinator. Got ripped in the
man. At some point, you gotta at least try to stop the run. I mean, they're gonna have to figure that out.
No, you don't. Like boxes, baby. Extra guy in coverage. That's what it's about. It's the modern NFL, Bob. Extra guy in coverage, because Jody's got DeAndre Hopkins on the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah,
you better be able to cover people.
They had 2 walk-in touchdowns. There was no coverage.
You better be able to cover. That was the bigger issue. I will say DeAndre went the emoji route. People were bringing up Buffalo and ring chasing, and he put bull and then a little poop emoji. So bullshit. I believe he's going to go. I believe he's going to go to New England or Tennessee, whoever gives him the most money. That's my belief on DeAndre.
I thought that all along, but now I'm starting to believe it's going to be somewhere else.
No, if they don't give him money, maybe then he goes ring shop, and if he has no other options. But
he hasn't grabbed. Neither one of them's given him the money so far, have they, John?
No. So you never know.
That deal where you get somebody and you're playing, you want to keep them away from another team. I don't know when that's ever worked out. Someone could give me an example. I mean, that would be interesting.
And Jody's Jets might be zeroing in on Dalvin Cook to keep him away from Miami. See how that shakes out.
Well, he just gets hurt all the time.
Yeah, Cook does have his fair share of injury. All right, last thing for you, Mr. Grotz. Running back question. Last year in the Super Bowl, Isaiah Pacheco, big game against the Philadelphia Eagles. He 1,000-yard back this year for Kansas City?
He's hurt right now, so and they drafted somebody. So no, I see him splitting the ball. They splitting the touches up, but I think he'll still play a big role.
Will his yardage gained be more than any Philadelphia Eagle running back?
That's a great question. No. I think Kenneth Gainwell is going to have.
You're on the Gainwell bandwagon?
I think he's going to have close to 1,000 yards.
Wow. Save this one. 1,000 yards for Kenny Gainwell. Not even combined. I'll give you the receiving yards on top of it. There's no way he gets 1,000 yards total.
Oh, you're going to give me the receiving yards?
Receiving and rushing yards,
right.
not 1,000 for Kenny Gainwell.
We got a good bet.
John, you remember this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Eagles like Kenny Gainwell.
I'll do the 620 show if that happens.
Here's what we're going to bet. You can pick any one individual 32-ounce bottle of water that you want, as expensive as you want, and whatever that price is, we'll find out what the number is. You got to buy me that many cases of cheapo water. I want to be stocked with water for the entire
cheapo water
season going into 2024.
Bob's going to get that dollar store water.
I'm going to get 640 bottles of my water as compared to one bottle of this?
How about this? I'll do your 5:20 a.m. show, all right?
The 5:20, yeah, the 5:20 show.
I'll do your 5:20 a.m. show. Or what is it, 8:20? Oh, man.
Yeah, sometimes we ask
8:20 is tough, yeah.
He got outside, he got in the car, and as always...
Hey, sorry about that. I don't know what, you know, I guess this social media, this Zoom type thing is new to me again. I'm going to have to get back up and back. Yeah.
You're rock solid. You're rock solid as always, Bob. Get a Perrier. You got to stay hydrated.
Yeah. Oh, I will. All right, guys.
When you get back to Lincoln Financial Field, John will teach you how to use your computer for Zoom purposes at some point.
Yeah.
We like you in the car, Grotz. You never know. Somebody could be coming for you. It's smart to be mobile the way you are.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
and keep that catalytic converter safe.
Yeah.
Keep it
safe.
And
I don't have to pay as much in taxes either, you know.
There you go. He's a smart man, Bob Grotz.
All right, guys.
And it's Bob Grotz here with his son, Birds 365. All right, running late. We always do. That's on me, but it's more on Grotz. And under over 999 yards, Kenny Gainwell, rushing and pass receiving. McMullen.
No, I'm going under.
Yeah,
I'm going under.
No, he's nuts. He think Kenny Gainwell.
But now I heard some fans. I saw some fans saying he's not going to make the team. Now that's not the case. The Eagles love him. He's making the team. Don't worry about that. He'll be on the team. But yeah, I think the lead back is going to be Penny or Swift or Penny. But Kenny's going to be a big part of the team. But 999, yeah, that's too steep.
Grotz had that rushing, just purely rushing. He thinks he can get 1,000. No shot, no chance.
No.
All right, that's why we love Bob Grotz. All right, quick timeout. Mac coming back. Put a ball in the show.